Right, hello everyone, I'm Colonel Barker and welcome to this Starcraft 2 commentary. Today we're going to be looking at a game between Pasildan as our yellow Terran player. This is my first time, and SuperHero, who's going to be our green Protoss player. Now this is my first time playing it. We're here on the level Cloud Kingdom, which is a fairly popular one to play on. And here's a little good luck from SuperHero. And this replay is thanks to Gosugamers, where I'll be getting mine from because they've got some fantastic replays. This has been out for about half an hour now, so it's exciting, it's fresh. I have no idea what's going to happen. I think the game might be longer than the amount of time it's been out for, if you see what I mean. Okay, so Pasildan just coming out with a exciting supply depot. Well, that's great. However, more interesting things are happening over here with SuperHero, as he comes out with a pylon and then very quickly moves out with a scout. You don't tend to see scouting this early, particularly in these locked positions. You know, you have to spawn in these two positions in this game. So I imagine he's just going to come along and have a bit of a nosy around. So I hope you guys like this this commentary. I love watching StarCraft 2 commentaries, and I thought it would be fun to sort of share my love with the rest of the community by actually putting something out there. Hopefully just sort of color text. So, oh, poor SuperHero's little probe trying to run around. I mean, I suppose the advantage of having a probe doing this is this prevents a bit of mining coming out from Sol, but not a huge amount. But if you have a look, hang on. He's coming out of the forge. So I'm going to suggest that SuperHero is going to be doing a forge fast expand, but usually that forge tends to be within the main base rather than out here, unless he's trying to wall off. So I imagine he's going to take a quick expansion. Ah, now this is fantastic. I love this. This is brilliant. Okay, so obviously if I just pick up the production tab, that forge has just finished. So out comes a photon cannon. We're going to see some photon cannon harass very early as well. Out comes out a second photon cannon. And SuperHero puts down another pylon, so I imagine he's going to be putting down some photon cannons down as well to prevent any kind of expansion. I think this game might be over very, very quickly. Because these SCVs really are not... How many kills has it got? Just the one kill so far, but it's preventing any mining. Mining has stopped. If you look at the income tab, mining has completely stopped for some. I think he's going to try and overwhelm... this photon cannon, and I think that's going to happen eventually, depending on how much he loses. He's already lost 5. Out comes a second photon cannon. Oh, and he lifts up! But also coming out with the second command center. I'm a bit confused. I've not seen this kind of thing happen before. So going back down to SuperHero's base, he's coming out with a gateway and 2 more cannons. So I imagine he's trying to go with a partial wall off, and this will stop any run-bys coming down and taking out the resource line. So he's clearly planning on expanding very, very quickly indeed. However, what's going on here? Oh my god, what is going on here? He seems to have turned his natural expansion into his main base and has building a secondary command center, I assume, to go back into his main to become his new secondary base. And finally, Pasildan decides to take out that pylon, which will prevent quite so much of that vision going on. But still sitting right in the middle of his natural, which is fantastic. Not his natural, his main. Now out comes a cyber core, which will be used for making those exciting various other things. I think immortals and so on. So the higher level tech units. I know StarCraft 2 very, very, very well. But on the other hand, not a huge amount going on here for SuperHero. He's probing up quite hard. Now it looks like as soon as Pasildan has managed to come out with his 4 Marines, he's going to be pushing out. No? Just a little prod, having a look, see what's out there, trying to grab some map control. I'm assuming he's going to take a jump at the Zalnaga towers. Apparently not. And out comes a bunker. I think he knows he's very, very vulnerable because he's so far behind. You know, immediately coming out as soon as he could with that. No, double orbital in order to get those mules, because those mules are so powerful. And it looks like the poor Marines had a bit of trouble there with the photon cannons. They didn't manage to sneak in. I think he was kind of hoping that he'd be just very, very quickly teching up. But apparently not. Nope, I lied. The cyber core's coming up here, which allows him to get those level 1 upgrades, and placing down his gateway. First gateway, his gateway is relatively late, all things considered. So I'm assuming what he's going to be doing is very, very quickly hard probing up. Then probe up for his expansion. He's moved down some probes from his main into his natural. And then he's going to get to a certain point and then just lay down probably 7 gateways in order to attack from that. A handful of Marines just taking map control, just looking out for any potential pushes. And here comes a SuperHero. So I'm going to assume, if we look at the units lost tab, my assumption was wrong. They're relatively even. So look at the production tabs. We've got the ground level 1 coming in, and oh, I like this. I like this a lot. Coming up with a third command center. So I'm assuming he's going to just run out and try and take a third base pretty much straight away. Fantastic. He's not even got a second base. He's already planning to do a third base, and bring it out to an orbital command again to get more of those mules. Those mules are so powerful. Even though let's have a look at this before I open my big mouth. Look at the income. I mean, look at this: 1,100 to 10 to just on 1,000. You know, they're very, very close. I mean, even though he has SuperHero has 2 pretty much fully saturated bases, Poseidon is still ahead on a single base. That's incredible, and that's largely thanks to those mules. So he's just thrown down those double refineries. So I imagine he's going to go for a very tech-heavy build here. Down to up to 4 racks, and I imagine quickly coming out with that factory, which will then allow him to get a starport, and I imagine he's going to be sitting largely on marine medevac. Such a powerful build. Yep, finally deciding to deal with this threat. Only 10 minutes into the game. Finally getting that expansion. Now I imagine he's highly oversaturated here. Yes, very oversaturated, and he's going to be pulling down half of those. I imagine half of those to his expansion. Now that's dealt with. Come on, don't prove me wrong. Yay! There goes that half. Now notice that Pasildan has sat in the 3rd position. That's just to make sure that he knows whether SuperHero is going to try and take a quick 3rd or not, but it doesn't look like he's going to, because 8 gateways. 7, I was wrong, but you know, first commentary, so I'm doing reasonably well. Just a small note: I don't watch these videos in advance. I don't want to know what happens. I want to keep this sort of as fresh and exciting as possible, so I need to sort of keep an eye on it. So a reasonable force building up, which he's going to be pushing out with 16 odd Marines or so, and a couple of Marauders thrown in just for good luck, because those Marauders do so fantastically well against Stalkers. So it's going to be pushing out shortly. I'm just going to bring up the production tab again. I know how production tabs work, and of course, just like I had predicted, factory becomes a factory scout, builds a starport, throws on a reactor, allowing you to build double Medivac, and I really would not be surprised if they are rallied to come out to the Marines. So he's trying to push as soon as possible. They're going to make some Stalkers, have some Stalkery fun. Look how quickly those Marines tear through Stalkers. But, now that's interesting. 8 gateways, yet sitting very sentry heavy. He's got, what, 12 odd sentries. Now the sentries are fantastic because they can use the force fields to break up Marines, and then just quickly wipe out half, or we'll break up whatever bioforce, knock out half of them, and then just deal with them part and part. So let's it's not looking good. It's really, really not looking good for Poseidon. He's retreating back, force knocking at the door. He's lost map control, and along comes his first wave of stalkers. So I imagine he's going to be doing a pylon. Yep, he does a pylon just out the front door, break down the rocks, and then he's going to be knocking at his front door. Now, oh, have a look at this. Marine and Medivac. Marine and Medivac run by coming. I think they're going to try and do a base trade. Yep. Yep, Sergeant's given up his base. Just run away with these SCVs. Picked up. Can't defend it. There's too much coming. I think he's going to... Yes! Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough Marines? Oh! That's fantastic. Look at all those cancelled stalkers. Now, if he can protect this this ramp, he's going to be pretty much okay. He's pulling down all of these SCVs. He's got no mining going on, just to prevent this army getting in, because there's no one back at home. Just a handful of zealots. I think he's decided he's going to lose it. I don't think he's pretending. No, he's not going to try and defend his expansion, but he is going to try and protect his main. But it looks like SuperHero is going to get in. Nope. Down come the rest of the SCVs. He's got no mining on, just mules. And he's sacrificing everything. We can look at the units lost tab. And surprisingly, SuperHero is sitting very, very far behind. And he pulls back. He could have done it. There's only a handful of Marines left. He could have done it. But if you have a look, I see. Last couple of Marines attacking the main, but look at that, no probes left, practically none, just 6-8 probes at maximum, very, very, very badly injured. Sarden pulls back with these last couple of medivacs, and SuperHero just sitting in the natural expansion there, preventing him getting out again, and he wants to push again. I think he knows he's taken out a lot of SCVs, and if he can just knock out the last couple here, he'll prevent any more economy going. But I think it's just all these orbital commands. He's got what, 4? No, he's got 3 remaining orbital commands, so he can just keep on throwing down those mules, and that's really what's pushing him ahead. Has he lost? On the other hand, if he sits there and prevents the mules mining, he is out. There's anything else he can do. I think, but then SuperHero calls the GG. Oh, if only he knew how close he was. He could have done it. He could have done it. I think he perhaps realised he was a bit too far behind. On the other hand, he does have his gateway tech, and if he'd sat there for a while, he'd have prevented very much mining. Anyway, well, that was fun, wasn't it? That was an exciting game, first one. Hearts racing. Okay, well, I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you like it and subscribe it. Any comments, throw down, and I'll try and take that on board for the next one. And thanks for watching and indulging my my fantasy of becoming a StarCraft 2 commentator like my loving stars and heroes. Okay, well, thank you very much. This is Colonel Barker.